finally back after taking a little bit of a break.
Today we have
Alex joining us,
and we'll have
Will coming in a little later. He's just running a little bit late.
So we're going to be continuing on with
the Apec Simirans.
So where did we
leave off last time?
Let me just take a quick look here. I think we were starting to get into like their natural resources that gives them value, as well as their literature, morals, and such. Looks like aside from that, these guys were almost all fleshed out.
Almost, yeah.
Let's see. I remember us talking about how Jade is like their thing of choice, and how this culture was a strange mix of nomadic and settlement, where settlements would last as long as mines produced, or as long as jade could be salvaged from mines and such.
Yeah.
And then once that stopped, then the capital or the place where they were working would essentially disassemble, and they would then move on to the next mine of jade. Which, thinking about that only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
Would this be applicable to other resources as well?
Potentially. I mean, because the jade is what's most important. If they have like a gigantic farm settlements going on,
I don't know why
they would just leave those behind.
Well, I imagine moving with the seasons. And they don't have to all be super nomadic. It could be a mix of some settlements being permanent, while others are maybe farming just isn't the best use for them. So during the times where farming isn't necessary, i.e. the times of the years where it's like winter or some such, you see a bunch of family members pick up and leave. Very, I don't want to say 1930s-esque, but that's the best way I can describe it, where, at least in our history, you would have people picking up everything they did for, well, now I'm actually going further back into the past, but, leaving for the California gold rush, and once a vein of gold was tapped out, cool, looks like this town's dead, and then they would all pick up and start leaving for someplace else.
So then are we going to keep them?
That they all leave then, or are we going to keep it? Or are we going to have it so that way some of them probably would stay?
They would have to find another reason to stick around, but we could absolutely. I was saying that like some of them who just decided, hey, maybe I'll make more money and become more valuable if I just farm. And then the most successful versions of those cities would pop up. You would have some that would stay year-round, but the vast majority of them would leave when it isn't necessary to be there.
So for start from the beginning part.
It's like when
a mine runs dry. When a mine runs dry, most apex. There we go. Most apex will leave to find
another vein.
However, Some will stay due to
I met.
flourishing crops.
I would imagine it's the owners that would stay because they've invested the most into the area. So picking up and leaving is just them going, well, cool. I'm losing a lot of money by just picking up and leaving everything. So I imagine once a mine ends, it's up to that. I don't want to say noble, but it's up to that leader to find another reason to garner interest to bring people back.
It's like that. It's like that. Excuse me.
Sure, that works.
Okay. What could these reasons be? Because I just feel like just letting it just kind of like too open is a little. It makes it feel not. It makes it feel not finished. Like it's just an opening thought.
Well, I imagine. Well, we said in the paragraph up above that crops and largely harvested crops are a rarity in Apec society. As such, Apec farmers are highly sought after positions for those with wealth, due simply because a bountiful harvest means that the jadeite veins have lasted longer or long enough for crops to mature. When a mine runs dry, I imagine that those who have tended to these crops and made an actually like prosperous farm, they're not gonna pick up and leave. This is something that they've worked really hard on. This is something that they've done. They're not just gonna be like, oh crap, the jade's gone. Well, guess all this work is now gone to shit.
So what if I put May?
Yeah.
I think that fixes that sentence a little more.
Okay.
They may find other reasons to give them, but what implies is the main reason is because of the farms.
Yeah.
Okay. Have we written down how they raise their children yet? I don't think we have.
No, I do not see that.
No, because it would be under the norms of daily life. So no, it's not there.
What do you think this type of culture? How do you think they would raise their kids?
Well, gorillas like they. Gosh dang it! The thought is in my head. I'm trying to figure out how to just put it out loud. Right?
They're a family unit.
Yeah, they are. They are. The gorillas in the wild are like a family unit. Unit.
Thank you. There you go. Nothing.
Oh, you're making fun of me for messing up the word unit. Okay, it's okay. I still love you. It's okay. I still love you. Exactly. So. Well, we also said like families will like kind of sell themselves as mercs, right? As mercs, right? So maybe it's possible that like the children are raised, along with the adults doing stuff, right? Like they don't really leave them on their own most of the time.
No. I could see that where the family is very important and it's expected that the adults teach the younger generation. I could see something along the lines of like because of this you kind of see a growth of expertise essentially that that there's the best farmers or the best fighters or mercs, the best miners or something like that, are those that have a long generational history devoted to it. Because it's, your father or your mother or father and your mother or father, so on and so on and so on, were these type of fighters or these miners or these farmers. So wherever you see adults, you probably will see younger Apec Simirans close behind, barring the most dangerous of circumstances.
Yeah.
So when you hire a group of mercenaries, you're not just hiring for those 5 mercenaries, you're hiring for 5 mercenaries and 5 kids as well. Again, barring that it's a very dangerous situation, in which case, like, no, we're not taking our kids to a goddamn siege.
Yeah. Barring the most dangerous. So like that. I'm gonna get rid of a couple right here. This little bit right here. There.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
My brain stopped. There it went. Let's see.
What? Okay.
Look at
what?
Sorry,
go on.
Well, no, you go first.
Well, I was gonna
switch gears.
As was I.
So if you have something,
my
switching gears was how do they view
death? What are their
death?
burial rights?
What are their burial rights?
I imagine that a culture like this more or less will be passing down everything they can to their next generation. So their burial rights probably is rather bare, only because they want to likely pass as much as they can off to the next. So it's definitely not like the the whole like, oh, I want to be buried with all of this stuff. Like, no, you're not
like the Dragonborns.
You're not using that stuff. Why would you be buried with it? Is so wasteful.
Yeah.
You know who could use that? Your goddamn family.
Exactly.
Hello.
He's here.
I'm here.
Time to fix the cameras.
Time to fix the cameras now.
Thanks.
Alex, while I'm fixing the cameras,
if you can kind of
update Will on what we're doing.
So we are talking about the Apec Simirans, gorilla people, who we've essentially fleshed out to being very nomadic.
Okay.
But think of the West during the California Gold Rush, where towns would exist as long as ore could be pulled from the mountain.
And then they move on and basically leave behind like a husk town, sort of.
Essentially.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Where they just oh man, the mineral's gone. Cool. Let's break everything down and leave. We don't need to be here anymore.
Okay.
Save for farms, and farms are a sense of pride to an Apec Simiran because a farm means that the vein that they found lasted long enough for crops to be planted, cultivated, and then harvested.
Okay.
So a farm is like a sense of great wealth.
Yeah, it's kind of like a flag
luck.
that like this town, like this all went well here. Like there was a lot to be had.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And those are the only like stagnant portions of the Apex Simmerans where it's like, oh man, you garnered so much wealth and you were so lucky to find that vein that you were able to essentially move on from hopping from vein to vein.
Okay. Gotcha.
We also said that.
And
we also
our
said that family is
Simmerans, there's two kinds of Simmerans, right?
Yeah, there's Apec, which is
there's
the gorilla
Apec,
ones,
which is the
and then
gorilla
there's
ones, and then there's the I forgot.
And have we done the other one?
Imperin or whatever. We started the monkey ones with Ethan, but obviously since Ethan's not here, we couldn't continue that one.
Okay,
so.
cool. All right, well, I'll give this a quick skim through. Where are we at? So, like, what is the current one that we're kind of looking at before I jumped in?
Right now, we're currently
working on death and burial rights and stuff like that, which is in customs.
Okay.
That's what we're working on right now.
We literally just started that one.
Okay, gotcha.
So.
Cool.
So Alex,
you were saying that they pass everything down.
Yeah, where once you're dead, like there's no, like we were talking about last time. Destiny is a very important thing to them. And so once you're dead, that your destiny is done. Best to use it to, help your next of kin.
Yeah.
When an Apec dies,
it is a representation
of
journey over your destiny has been fulfilled. Destiny has been fulfilled. So would the death of an Apec be a celebration then?
I'd say I'd definitely say so, but I'd say it's a very personal thing. It's probably the only ones allowed at such an event is their most trusted and their family. So if you're allowed at an Apec burial, that's a huge boon in your favor. Unless you're family, because family, it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
And if you're family and you're not allowed at an Apec burial,
I'm sure that's a huge slight.
That's a huge slight. It's like your dad or your folk hated you so much they didn't want you to see the completion of their destiny.
Oof.
Yeah.
And the closest of
But I feel like even then, a burial isn't something that's like really shown off. Like it's not a time to show off your wealth. It's a time to pass on your wealth.
This burial is not time off wealth or achievements but to pass them on.
Now, achievements, I would say not so much for achievements. Achievements, like, you want to talk about their life, because
fair.
it's like, hey, think of, like, Egyptian burials. They're the exact opposite, where they're not burying
good stuff.
Yeah, you're not burying your good stuff. You're giving your good stuff onto the next generation so that they can make their life and their destiny better.
Relevant apex.
What's what I'm looking for? Possessions.
But here, so I see you going around and like capitalizing APEC. Do we do that?
Do we do that?
That's not a thing that's proper grammar
because we don't capitalize human every time it shows up.
Oh, I mean, I just saw it capitalized in the majority of places, and so then I was.
I guess sometimes
I'm just typing. I'm not thinking.
I guess like.
But when I'm like.
I mean, it's kind of like capitalizing orc.
Like you would capitalize European.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't capitalize human.
I guess that's.
Wait, do we capitalize American?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well.
All right. Well.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Suddenly your grades in English class make sense.
Excuse me, my grades in English class
were really good.
Except when they had to read stuff.
Except when they had to read stuff, and I didn't read them.
They always had
us read stuff that were boring.
It was only boring because you were forced to read it.
They're considered
that's
proper
fair.
Adjectives. That's what they're called.
I mean, I know what proper nouns and
proper stuff is. I just didn't think that would be a proper
noun.
Yeah, it's like how African American, you capitalize both A's.
Fair. Expressions are given to those who are invited to burial. This represents oh my brain. Hold on. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Burial's not a time shaw. Wealth but to pass them on. All of an apex positions are given to those who are invited to the burial. This represents
Hang on.
This
signifies. The passing of I don't know.
I don't know. This signifies this.
Hang on. To pass them on, all of Apex possessions are to be given to those who are invited to the burial. Period. You don't really have to describe it further.
That's fair.
Hard stop.
So what exactly is the burial rite?
I almost want to say funeral pyre. Is anything else feels wasteful. Save for maybe, digging a ditch and throwing the body into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think too. Because the important things with them are family, destiny, and jade. So what can we do to represent
as many of those as possible?
We got the family thing. We got the family thing because only family and close friends are allowed. So that's one.
They pass on any jade that they have. So
there's that one.
Yeah, you don't want to. What was the other one? Family, Jade, and Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really think of any specific way for a burial to incorporate destiny.
I mean, I guess we have all.
Unless you like had it somehow tied to whatever they thought their, like whatever their call was to destiny. Like if their destiny was to like a specific profession. Like if they were felt their life's pull to be like a blacksmith. You know, you could like burn the bodies, mix the ash with the iron in like a smelting machine or something like that.
We actually talk about that.
Really?
It's in their religions. An Apec's views of destiny is an uncommon one compared to other races. Whereas most cultures worship and build structures in a deity's name, an Apex will only acknowledge their existence.
Mm-hmm.
They fall into 5 different aspects of their views on destiny. They are either shackled by destiny, way of the seizing chain, given to destiny, way of the flowing vein, maker of one's destiny, way of the maker's fire, fighter against destiny, way of the sundered earth, and freed by destiny, way of the passive hand. So I would say that their burial probably incorporates something about that. If they felt that they were shackled by destiny, probably has something to do with, I don't know, being chained and thrown into a pit or sank into the water.
I guess it depends on the rest of the tribe's view on people who are each of these categories. Like, do they view the shackled by destiny people as not good in society, or
we described it as a how do you feel destiny is to you, or what is your relationship to destiny? Do you feel shackled by destiny, as in destiny set out before you?
If that is what you kind of identify as within this belief system, how is that viewed by the other people, like your family or the people that you travel with? Would that go into what your burial rite would be? Like if, say, for example, shackled by destiny, if that's how you feel, would that be something that's like looked down upon by other people in Apec Simiran society?
I think the only one that we said that people kind of looked down upon a little bit was the fighter against destiny, because since destiny is so ingrained and they feel destiny is very important. If you fight against your destiny, you're going against
like everything they believe in.
Everything. So I think that's the only one that they were like, that's not good, but all the other ones kind of fit in.
I would say that these could tie into their burial rites depending on what they believe themselves to be.
I feel like shackled by destiny would be like the body is weighed down and either placed something somewhere, be it in a pit or in a
or like a not exactly a pile. It's more like grandiose than a pile, but like a thing of stacked rocks like on top of the body.
Where you're forever weighed down, or your body is weighed down. So it
depends on the terrain for that one. If there's no water around for the one you mentioned.
Given to destiny, probably funeral barge.
Yeah, I can see that
one. Maker of destiny, body is burned. Fighting against destiny, body is buried. And freed by destiny, I would say that the body is probably just left out to rot and be picked at. Like, I feel like the freed by destiny, they leave the corpse somewhere to essentially be taken by everything.
I like that.
Same.
Hold on. So I didn't want to.
I
didn't want to lose any of those. So just type like real quick.
Burial
rites are
different
for each depending on their viewpoint of destiny.
Buried under stones. Or
That's good. Buried under stones.
Buried under stones.
Funeral barge.
Buried.
The ground. Of course, you think about everything.
Yes, for this, probably change this to corpse left. To be probably reclaimed by nature, effectively.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Buried under stones.
Right?
Where?
I think that one is represents
okay, I see it.
How they felt weighted down by their.
Yeah, I know, but like.
Well, yeah, I know, but like obviously, like
there needs to be representation.
There needs to be representation of like this is why we do this because it means this, you know.
So I'm just trying to like.
That's what I'm trying to write down, like why those are the things that are used.
Because
as example, say you guys ran into a bunch of Apec Simiran and ran across them like burying someone or doing something like this.
Someone
looking at you, Oliphius, would probably be like, "What is this? Why are you doing this?"
Why don't you just shock and grasp them all? That's what we do. Not just cultists. This is for everyone.
Yep.
I am a equal opportunist, shocking grasp person. Thank you very much. All they have to do is just cross my path.
Look a little bit shifty. Not a requirement, though.
The plus.
Excuse me.
So we're gonna turn into a group of villains, right?
Oh, yes.
Of course.
I would love to see Grandpa as a villain, just saying.
Hell yeah. He'll get a mask and he'll just become a elderly ninja mutant turtle.
I was gonna say like he would be one of those villains that's like really unassuming but has been manipulating everything around you the entire time.
That's pretty good. He uses the guise of a friendly grandfather to get in close, and that's when he twists the knife.
Exactly.
Just like he's been doing to this group. I mean, of course.
I feel like Caphriel would be, rather obvious in how she would be as a villain.
Manic murder.
Yeah, you know what she already is.
Slasher villain, effectively.
Essentially. Mihi would be like the creepy girl at the bottom of a well.
Yep. So it'd be a creepy girl at the bottom of a well. Also uses psychological terror and delusion. She already did it to a child once, so you know.
Yep. Liphius would be a megalomaniac kind of guy.
Yep.
Like, of course.
And Cal would, of course, be the I'm killing you because justice demands that you die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. We've got it.
It actually wouldn't be very hard to do this. Aside from Grandpa, we've already done something like that. Which actually, I feel like Grandpa is really close to doing that with this current Lord.
Man, Lord Sebastian. Get my hands on him.
Why do you hate him so much?
He's the worst. That's why.
Why do you hate Sebastian?
Why do you hate Sebastian? I love Sebastian.
Because he's a tyrant. That's why.
Says you.
Says you.
He's an idiot tyrant. Might be even more evil than we thought, since he's got demon-y shit going on.
That was his fault.
And I still have my current theory about him.
That?
He's basically like King Midas. That's why we were told not to touch his hand, shake his hand. And the whole tunnels are covered in gold. And then the other option for not to shake his hand is he's just a fucking idiot and he's got like a joy buzzer, a fantasy version of a joy buzzer. Those are literally the only two options.
No one has touched him
yet. You guys don't know.
And that's what I'm telling you. It can be only those two things.
I know what it is.
I know what it is.
I know you do.
I know what it is.
We just gotta overthrow his kingdom before that happens.
My question is where we're gonna go after this. I feel like we've explored the entire place.
Oh, basement?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no. I mean
still...
the dungeon we're in.
We gotta go back to Lord Sebastian, I guess.
We also have to take care of those guys in 2 days. Well, 1 day.
You guys went back.
Left and took a short
rest.
Yeah.
Not short rest.
Yeah, so we have 1 more day.
Yeah, before everyone shows up.
Before everyone shows up.
Yep. Are we gonna just wait there for them to arrive, or
we gotta put up a sting operation on Elvis's magical musical Emporium.
Oh, I'm convinced. He's evil. No one's
basically,
that nice.
Adam. All your NPCs are evil, and we're planning for it.
Just because I've made Jenkins evil, now you expect every single one of them.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Welcome to my game. Like whenever I've introduced any NPC in my old Pathfinder game.
I didn't suspect every single one of your guys to be evil.
No, but they expect.
In fact, I was the only one in the group when I was playing in that pirate campaign that was like, I like this guy. And everyone was like, no, he's awful. We all hate him.
And then it led to your character being eaten by a sea dragon.
No, that was his own dumb stupidity for that one. And I told you freaking beforehand, like, hey, maybe you don't want to be here when the tide comes back into this underwater cavern.
That's why I don't play rogues.
Alex, is because the greed is too real. I'm like, rogues,
steal everything.
Steal everything.
This is like the 3rd rogue that's died.
It's kind of funny because the crisis would have all been averted if we didn't have a bag of holding. Like the fact that we did was what gave you that much time to like throw stuff into your bag. Because Leslie's character filled up her Cavalier's saddlebags and was like, all right, that's it, we're out.
Well, but do you know how much
that would have helped us later on if we had all that?
Anyway,
we're getting sidetracked.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out how to phrase this.
It represents how.
So what is the basis around being the idea that you're freed by destiny? Like you don't have a destiny anymore, or
destiny has given you such benefits that you I think what we said
knowing that
your destiny is already carved out for you. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen because it was already destined to happen.
Okay.
So you're kind of like you're allowed to sit there and experience life as what it is, as opposed to like having to worry about every single thing. You're just like, that rock slide killing like 5 people that I cared about was destined to happen. Is it sad? Yes, but
I guess you could say that for that you could say represents how even in your passing the world continues to move on and destiny for everyone else continues to play out.
I don't see us ever running into these guys. At least not on this continent.
You don't think so?
No, this sounds like some place that would be more of a tropical environment.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, unless
it's possible.
Potentially on Oliphius's family.
I.e., eventually, when you eventually go to where Oliphius is from, you guys might run into some of these people, but
it would be there.
Maybe not in
your city, but they might be somewhere
on the same continent.
Yeah.
I guess settling operations would happen because how long have the worlds been merged?
700 years.
700 years.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's why it's
700 KR. 700 years since the Catasandra.
I like this.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Other than holidays,
what else do we need to work on?
I don't feel like they would have holidays.
You don't think
they'd have celebrations?
What would they celebrate?
I think the only celebrations would probably be when they have fully mined a jade vein, and then they're beginning to pack up the town to go to the next place. I feel like that would be cause for celebration.
Okay.
Interesting. All right.
So.
That's what you sound like.
That's what you sound like.
Get off the book. You stand on top of
my platinum version guidebook.
Oh, how are you doing on that insane challenge?
I'm doing pretty well.
Kanto
was 100%
Kanto is 100% done entirely.
Johto is
almost done entirely except for him to get a male and female Sudowoodo.
Aren't you doing the crazy Spinda thing too?
I just need to get two
matching Spinda.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Isn't that still ridiculously hard?
Yeah.
What? What makes that difficult?
Yeah, it's part of.
There are over
a billion different Spinda patterns.
There are?
Yeah.
I thought that was the butterfly.
No, Spinda's the bear thing with the spiral eyes.
Yeah, Vivillon is the butterfly.
No,
this
is like a few of those.
When a jade.
Look at the Spinda thing now.
Runs out. There is a celebration before majority pack up and move on. I'm sorry, Billy. 4 billion.
4 billion.
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
And I
gotta get two matching ones, and then two shiny matching ones.
Oh god, that's actually possible.
Why?
That's actually possible.
Hate myself, Alex.
Apparently.
Also, I've
got to get a why not from Mirage Island too, and that the chance of Mirage Island showing up is higher than a shiny.
Jeez.
Full odd shiny.
Wait, where's Mirage Island? Which one has that?
Mirage Island's 3rd gen.
There are only why nots.
There are only why nots on that island.
There's no other
That's
Pokemon.
it. There's no other Pokemon. Only why not.
That's awful. Why would you ever even want to go there?
Because you want a why not.
Because you want a why not. Clearly.
But there's so many other places where you can get them.
I know, but I
could say that I got a why not from Mirage Island.
Is there something special about them that like identifies that they were on?
No, it just says where it was caught.
It says that they were caught at it says they were caught at Mirage Island.
God.
What do they do at the celebration?
What do they do at the celebration exactly?
I know this sounds kind of silly, but since most of their stuff is going to be taken down anyway, part of it could just be breaking some shit. You know, like, oh, we gotta tear down these houses and stuff.
Oh my god.
Might as well just fucking, like, bash them down, break everything, you know? Just go. Get drunk, go wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking Paradise Island all up in here.
I just thought of
in Tarzan.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you know their national anthem?
Yeah.
Get a bunch of elephants, they run them through the camp. It's a full spectacle.
Oh, yeah.
I could actually see, like, that being a thing where some leaders try to outdo others by doing the most creative way. Oh, you ran elephants through your camp? Ha! Ha! I freaking hired sorcerers to cast fireball at it over and over and over again.
We did 20 casts of fireball. You know, the 20 fireball salute.
I fucking love this.
Love this so much. This is fucking like Goron destroying everything around them.
You know, might as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're
not using it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like how I wrote that out too?
Do you like how I wrote that out too, by the way?
Let's see. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
God, yes, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, I love this. Was it you, Alex, or was it you, Will, who came up with that?
I did.
I fucking love it.
Will,
It was you.
Yeah.
Will, I love you. You get brownie points. You're gonna get some extra experience.
Hell yeah.
Not really, but.
Not really.
Yeah.
Right, we leveled up.
Yeah, you guys are
level 6 now. Oh yeah.
I've been meaning to talk to you guys about this.
I've been meaning to talk to you guys about this, so I guess you two are gonna go first.
And whoever's watching.
And whoever's watching.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see a follower count on my phone.
Anyway. So what I'm thinking is
obviously not this next Saturday because we'll be playing, but the next Saturday where we would be doing another culture build
to have fun
for hitting the 6th level. Do a battle royale with everybody.
What?
That might be a little tough because that is the day before my wedding.
Oh shit, you're right. That is the
day before your wedding. I don't think we'll be. Oh god.
But I like the idea.
I do like the idea though. Although I feel like it's going to be Cal one-shotting someone with Divine Smite and then being like, alright, now there's 4 people left.
Yeah, but none of you guys are like
considered fiends, so he wouldn't get the extra smite damage.
I don't know, I'm pretty evil.
But yeah, so I kind of want to do that.
So I kind of want to do that. I want to do a battle royale with everybody.
That would be wonderful.
I've got the perfect way to defeat people. I'll just cast sending, and then, like, I'll tell Cal's mom that Cal's being bad.
Oh my god. I can't think of anything else.
Honestly, what to do with Apex.
Yeah, neither can I. We got a lot done the previous version, or the previous time we did this.
How long have we been going for?
We've only been going for a short amount of time.
Let's see, we've been only going
about an hour.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Do we want to start in another one,
or do we want to just end it there?
I don't know.
I'm okay with either or.
Honestly.
Will?
Well, for this one, did we want to do anything with the values? Because I see that part's not built on, unless that's like values is the higher, step.
Values like
that's
We don't have anything when it comes to like the with the literature and whatnot, but does this society have literature?
I feel like they would mostly do either like kind of like spoken word and kind of martial arts.
We have it right here. Story, lore and stories that Apec has passed through generations through oral tradition.
It's right about norms, daily life, and
stories are also told through martial art forms, each strike and pose conveying a different part of the
story. I don't think they would have like written all that much. They might have some, but I don't think that would be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a lot.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a lot.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. I can't think of anything more to do then.
Yeah. Maybe they just good then.
Maybe they just good.
Maybe they just good.
So again, I asked,
do we want to make a new one, or do we end it here?
I mean, if we did do a new one, I could only stay on for a little bit because it's getting pretty close to when I gotta get some dinner.
Fair.
So I'll leave that to you guys.
I mean, I'm good with calling it here.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay. We were here for about an hour. We should be
shorter than it's usually about an hour.
Usually about an hour.
Yeah.
Usually about there. Yeah.
All right.
Cool stuff.
I think
that's another culture done.
Yep.
That's another one on the list.
So what's the next one?
Billion of them.
Well, I would like to
continue working on the Impero. That was it. The Impero. Simirans. I'd like to continue that.
We need to finish.
We need to finish Lizard Folk at some point too.
We do.
Oh, is that one still going? I don't think
we started.
We started. It was Alex Bilker and I started Lizard Folk a while ago.
Oh,
we just haven't touched it. We literally got like the religion part done, and that was it. That's all. Even that's not even done yet.
Really? I thought we did get the.
I don't think it's completely done.
I think it's almost.
I didn't think completely done. I thought it was like majority done.
I mean, granted,
that religion section is taking up a huge chunk of the Lizard Folk, though.
Do you send it back to me? I would very much like to see it again.
Obviously, I'll send it when this is done.
Okay.
But
I mean, obviously, there's all the ones we haven't finished yet. Bilker and I gotta finish Goblins at some point, which I'd like to go on stream too.
We need to do orcs.
Sometime.
Oh yeah.
And I
have to.
Maybe that should be the next one that gets tackled after the other Simiran.
I want
Bilker on board for that one because he is the only one out of everyone who's been doing this with me whose group has actually ran into orcs. So
we ran into orcs.
We ran into a couple of orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't run.
You didn't run into a whole society.
Yeah, that's fair. But we did run into them. I mean.
That's fair.
That's fair. But they ran into a whole like outpost of like refugee orcs and helped them take back their capital city. Like.
Anyway,
with that.
Next time,
if Ethan can join us, we'll be doing Impero. Other than that,
one of those things we've listed
will probably be the next one we do. Thanks everybody for joining us for Culture Build, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye bye.